One of the challenges for cities and for mayors in particular is the need to deliver the infrastructure projects or make important decisions in light of often very stark political challenges. And let me just frame this dynamic a little, because I think it's very important to understand some of the pressures for city leaders in different periods of their tenure, coupled with when some of these decisions are made. What often happens is a new mayor will have some period of time post-election to make some bold decisions, either in terms of investment decisions on infrastructure or privatization and bringing in other players to participate. They will then make this decision and then look to make some progress at least, and be recognised to be making some progress in the eyes of the electorate at the point that there is a re-election. Depending on term limits, of course, if then you're re-elected and you're in your last term, you can make some quite bold decisions. The challenge in infrastructure, of course, is often the development time. So if you look at a average in the United States to build infrastructure and a major asset, say for example a bridge which requires quite large permitting requirements, is about 13 years. That's a long time, often more time than the people who are initially making the decision will be in office. Right? So understanding how that political dynamic plays out over time and these projects are actually delivered is very important, and very important from a private sector, to understand at what point the administration is to be able to make some of these decisions. If you don't take that into account, then some of the obvious decisions may not be made at the time you think is critical, and other ones which are absolutely bold, maybe controversial, will be made only at key points. And you see some examples of this. I think when Bloomberg looked to put in his hybrid vehicles at the very start, there was a reaction to that, which is it's higher cost. It's going to lead to higher taxi fares, and that was a bold move. He did it at the time that he had the political, early in his tenure, political will to get some of these things done, and they were delivered and moved forward. As he got to his second term, he made the bold call that suddenly fat kids could no longer have access to sugary drinks. Quite a bold limit on personal freedom, but nonetheless, he was able to make that sort of politically somewhat unpopular decision because of this political dynamic that I'm talking about. Understanding how these political leaders participate and make these bold decisions is very important. One other point that we should keep in mind in this is within the city government, there are, at least in most jurisdictions, not all, quite a large professional organisation that are not political in and of themselves, that are there for longer periods of time, and those people, the professional nature of the workforce there is often critical to allow the sustainability of some of these programs throughout administrations, from one administration to another. For a city to make sure that those decision makers and the talent that they have within city government to be able to drive the decisions forward in as professional a basis as possible is very important. I look at some of the shifts that Eduardo Paes, Mayor of Rio de Janeiro, has been trying to make in and infrastructure and the professionalisation of his team. And there's one investment that I think is really groundbreaking, which is the City Operations Centre, where they've brought together all city services, police, fire, security, transport, congestion, city services, waste, into one central operating unit. This was a bold move. High technology, needing very professional talent to be able to run that. This is not something that is going to appear one day and go the next. The investment in the technology has been extensive. It leads to great improvements in efficiency, and frankly, he would admit he's just starting. But the professionalisation of the team that are leading that unit ensures that it'll be, sustainable, and something that really does lead to very clear improvements in the livability in the city.